Okay. Here. Okay. Hello, this is Michael from Team Ragnarok, and I'm gonna show you the deck profile from the big guy.
Greetings, infidels.
And he got third place Danish national championship with a
like
rather interesting and cheap deck, so to say. So yes.
Most expensive card is a Scrap Dragon.
Very interesting. Yes, indeed, very expensive. So let's get started, shall we?
Yeah. Okay. First of all, you got the free fire dogs, obviously, because it's awesome and it's fierce and it looks like it can eat you. And the three magicians, and that's for the Flamwell lineup. It's the most consistent and it makes the synchros you need to make. You need to make level 8s all the time. Then you have the free Gravekeeper spy. The free Gravekeeper spies and the Descendant. The reason for this is that it gives you a lot of opening plays, and even if you in some games draw Descendant on start hand, it's never dead, because most obviously it can bait out if you got like a spy and a Descendant. The spy either baits out your opponent's warnings, or you can flip it and then destroy 2 of their cards, because most people don't play what's it called, Bottomless Trap Hole anymore. So it's a good card. And the spy into Descendant into Magician is always awesome. Okay, then you got the 3 Reborn Tengus, which is pretty much staple in the Flamvell deck, because obviously Tengu plus Magician equals level 8 and you get another Tengu, so either a Starter Dragon and a Beater, or a Scrap Dragon and destroy the Tengu and get another Tengu, and yeah, 3+1. And then you got the 3 Raikos, and the reason for the Raiko is actually pretty simple, that the deck doesn't really need the milling as much, but the reason for Raiko is that it's an out to the 1-card ownage of most of the top tier decks right now, like a Sheen or Necro Valley mostly. And well, it's always good. It's always a good first turn set.
It's 1 card out, right?
It's 1 card out to pretty much any card in the game. And then you got the 2 Chaos, which are also a 1 card out to pretty much any monster your opponent can play. To Sheen, to yeah, whatever. And yeah, pretty much. Then you got the Cyber Dragons. Cyber Dragons I found are really good this format, because it's pretty much like, it's not exactly like a starter strength, but it's easy to get out, and they have to waste cards to get over it. They can't get over it with normal monsters, which most of the decks focus on right now. So like Cyber Dragon and Deep Prison, and you've got them pretty locked down unless they have like a Dark Hole or something. And then you got 2 Breakers. They worked out really well the first day. Not so much in the finals, or but yeah, I'm thinking about taking 1 out. But it was actually really good against, also like, just play it, make them use cards on it, and if not, you get a, at best case, you get to beat over a monster and take the counter off, and it's a 2-for-1. Basically, and it's a dark, and the artwork is freaking awesome.
Best artwork in game.
Best artwork in the fucking game. Okay, and you've got 1 Glow Bulb. At first it didn't make much sense in the deck, but actually it's very good, even if you draw it on your hand, actually, because Cyber Dragon plus Glow Bulb equals level 6 and potentially level 7 Black Rose Dragon. And it's really good with Tengu to get out 2 level 5 beaters and another Tengu to hit for about like almost game, actually, which is often game if they've used a warning or something. And it works very well with the Chaos Sorcerer. Get out Chaos Sorcerer, normal summon Glow Bulb, remove a monster, then Synchro Summon for Arcanine Magician, remove 2 cards, then effect into a Starter Dragon, and yeah. Not often you get to make that play though, but when you do, it's awesome. Gores, which is, yeah, win condition pretty much. Can't tell you how many games I won because of this card. Pretty awesome. And one single Birdman is kind of a tech, or just gives you the opportunity to one card out, like a whole field with Tengu and Genex. Or it's not one card out, but you use pretty much one card and get out a Black Rose Dragon and a Tengu to finish it off with. And it's good to recycle Chaos Sorcerers and... And what the fuck?
Okay.
And you can also recycle breakers. If you have a breaker, you use the counter next turn, pick it up, get this out, then normal summon again, remove the counter again, and then synchro for Arcanite Magician, and force him to not make any sets or commitments to the field for next turn. Yeah, and you've got the Diagon Dragon, which is the boss monster of the deck, sort of, which I did not draw or mill or see at all throughout the entire tournament. It's the only card in the deck that I did not see throughout the whole tournament. But so I can't really tell if it worked out or not, but it's awesome and it looks badass.
Played.
And the reason for this is that you can control your graveyards somewhat with Chaos Sorcerers and Pot of Avarice, which I will get to later. But that's those are the monsters pretty much. And now onto the spell cards. Got 2 Rekindlings. The reason I run 2 and not 3 is because it lowers the chances to get them on starting hand, which is often very bad. Even though throughout most games in the tournament I did draw it on start hand, but whatever. And you draw it like you top deck it in top decking situations, and you get out 2 synchros and win. It's pretty awesome like that, but most of the time you'll use it on getting a Magician back from the grave. To synchro with a breaker, you just used counter on or something for a 1-card Star Dragon. Then you got the 2 mystical Space Typhoons.
Everything is vibrating and sound and everything.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Because they're mad they did not win.
Indeed.
Okay. The 2 mystical Space Typhoons combined with the 2 breakers and the Raikos are the only spell trap card destruction in the deck, pretty much. But that's okay, because you have easy access to Scrap Dragon all the time. You can use it in very advantageous situations, and yeah, pretty much. MST is always good. Then you got Darko, Monster Reborn, pretty staple. Not much to say. You got the Book of Moon, also staple. And you've got an Allure, which was pretty decent, I guess, first game, but I often sided it out against some decks because of lack of room in the main deck. And it's pretty good to side out against most decks. Where you also, like for example against plants, I would side this and these out, and get in 2 Thunder Kings and Chain Sprints and Effect Veil. So it's pretty good. Yeah, Pot of Avarice, a single one. I don't know, it's a broken card, and if you don't run it, you're gonna lose. But it's like, yeah, I can't really explain it. It worked out pretty well because I never drew it early on. I always drew it like top deck. Pot of Avarice get 2 free cards, and yeah, and you have a lot of things that get each other out in the deck, like Magicians and Fire Dogs, because you don't need to have that many in the graveyard for Rekindling. Like most of the time, the only thing you want in the graveyard is a Fire Dog and a Magician. So in this crisis situation, you can send them in as well. And it's also very good to control a grave for Diagon Dragon. I did win in the testing. It worked very well with like having a full grave late game and having Diagon Dragon and drawing this, then sending in until you had 3 cards. Then special summon Diagon Dragon, remove their field and swarm with shit. And
go.
Mind Control is a very good card. It won me countless games just against plans. Take their Raikou, destroy one of their cards, and almost a Magician for a high beater. Any beater you can make pretty much for free is a beater worth making, like Cyber Dragon for example, and then just setting a deep prison or whatever. It's very good this format because they have to waste outs to get through them. Yes, that's pretty much the spells. The trap cards, 3 deep prisons. Well, the reason for this is it's pretty simple. That one of the key plays of the deck is just make Stardust Dragon set deep prison, and what are they gonna do? They have to waste countless cards just to get over that, or make Trishler or some shit, which I can't afford. Okay.
Cheapskate.
And then you got the Mirror Force and Solemn Judgment, which are pretty much the only two trap cards I run in all my decks, because I've always found them to be useful in pretty much any situation.
Okay.
And then you got one Chain Disappearance tech
main
decked, and it actually worked out pretty well. I got a Dandelion once, and I got the little samurai thingy with 400 attack out also once. So it's pretty good when you use it main decked, and it surprises people, and you can always get rid of it easily with Scrap Dragon. If you have no use for it against the deck, set it, use Scrap Dragon's effect. Yeah, whatever. And the reason I do not run warnings is because I can't afford them. So
it's a cheap deck.
Or else I would probably switch these out for warnings, I'm thinking.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, that was the main deck.
The side deck here down with the World Qualifier logo.
Yes, the side deck is pretty important actually. It won me very countless games during the first days. Just a sec. Single effect wheeler in the side deck. I don't know, it's kind of it's okay, I guess. Against some decks you want to side it in, like Samurais and stuff. It's okay. And also if you have more cards in the main deck that you would like out, but less cards you would like to side in, which was the case against some matches, you can always just take it in. It's a random card. And at least it's a level 1 tuner you can synchro into Arcanite Magician or whatever. Okay, Thunder King Ryo. Best card in the freaking game.
Indeed.
I sided it in literally every match I sided this card in, and I'm gonna find main deck place for it soon enough. It's really awesome. It stops everything, and it's a good beater. 2 Bottomless Trap Hole. It's a situational card now at best. It's very good against some decks like Gladiator Beasts or Scraps, mostly Scraps. But it's very good also against X-Sabers. I decided in because deep prisons were horribly bad against X-Sabers, because they always have like Hyunlei or what's it called, Barkion.
Yeah, which I don't understand really, because usually I play Dimensional Prison to get that Fulham Knight, because Bottomless doesn't take that, but I don't know.
Well, I don't really have trouble with Fulham Knight because I have big beaters and stuff. The only thing it takes is my Raikous, and I side them out as well.
Ah, okay.
Into Thunder Kings and Effect Veiler.
Yeah, okay.
Just keeping them from getting their setup as fast as possible. And then you've got the Pullings. Also found this card to be very good against various matchups like Drake Unity. It's very good, and it's also very good against any form of Machina, Gadget, whatever. And also frogs and stuff. Just any random decks actually. Many rogue decks for example. And then you've got 2 Fairy Wind. Now this card was actually very useful. It's good against many decks as well. Dragunities, Gravekeepers, Samurais, very good. But another thing about this card is that when you play this deck with so many different attributes and types of monsters, like pretty much there aren't any monsters who are the same attribute pretty much, and everyone is going to be siding Gozen Match and Rivalry in against you. And this card stops both as well. So, in addition to stopping like the random Necrovalleys and stuff.
Yeah.
2 Dustinators. Didn't really get to use them as much. But I don't know, it's kind of a last moment addition to the deck, and I guess I could have sided them in against some matchups, but I didn't really, so I don't know. Oh yeah, I forgot this. 2 seconds. 2 power plants against Samurais, Gravekeepers. Take their monsters, synchro it, or at one point against which I actually won, was the last match to qualify for the playoffs, and it was Samurai, and I started with 2 power plants, and he had a full field with gateway and stuff, so I took his Sheen and I took his Kazan, and then I normal summoned what's it called? Genix Ally, and he had like two what's it called? 2 compulsory set. No, 1 compulsory set, and what's it called? And gateway active, and I think D-Fisher active as well. No, not that. Then I wouldn't be used to. I don't remember, but it was pretty good. I took like all his whole field out, and that instantly won me the game. So it's a good card. 1 change appearance because I run in main, 1 in main, and I sided in against plants, mostly Samurais as well. So it's decent. It's good. It's not decent. It's very good against most decks. And 1 side deck spot left. I left for the Light Imprisoning Mirror against the new fairy stuff and worms, random light shit. But I didn't really meet any, so I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if I should talk about the extra deck, because
nothing to talk about. Just show it.
It's pretty cheap as this card. You can get it out.
Turn it around.
You can get it out with Chaos Sorcerer and Genix Ally Birdman.
Yeah.
It's pretty good against Sheen and stuff.
Just turn the.
Oh yeah. Okay.
It all around and then just go through it. Yeah.
The reason I run 1 Scrap Dragon is because I couldn't afford another.
You should run 2.
Yeah. Instead of 2 Colossal.
Yeah.
2 Black Rose Dragon, also important because you can make them. 2 Arcanine Magicians, also very, very important. Many games I had to get out both. It's a great 2400 beater, and it forces them to not commit to the field or use Darkhold and stuff as an out. Gaia Knight, also in lack of a better card, in this case Catastor, which I also did not have.
I did have it for the tournament.
Yeah. And I cursed it many times, but yeah. And Brionac was awesome. It's good, you need it. And also Chimera Tech was also pretty good. It won me a game that I had it, where, but it wasn't with my own Cyber Dragon, it was because he summoned a Cyber Dragon in addition to his other cards.
Okay.
His Fortress thingy, so yeah. But it's good.
Awesome. The winner. Or not. 3rd place. Hoorah. See ya.